So here we are in Lanzarote for the family holiday. I've got my hire car, which is a Kia. How predictably chops, eh? A Kia Stonic, I think these are called. I believe it is the 1 litre. Car's gone into some kind of limbo. Won't be trying to accelerate up a hill, it's juddering in any gear. So we're up into 5th gear at 80 kilometers an hour, which I should be able to do quite happily, and it's juddering like nothing. It's juddering through the steering wheel, juddering through the pedal. It's got no turbo. It won't give it the power it needs. Now, one thing that does work well that I couldn't have done without on holiday is Surfshark, the sponsor of today's video. Surfshark provides you with a VPN, a virtual private network. That VPN gives you a secure internet connection whilst you're online, protecting you and your data. In addition to that, it allows you to access geo-locked content when on streaming services. So what do I mean by geo-locked content? Well, here's an example. We're on Netflix. Now, Netflix, as well as other streaming services, will restrict what series and movies you can watch based on the country you're in. So I was on TikTok earlier, and there was a clip on there of a series that looked really good called Evil, which is a horror stories, I think. I really do like horror myself. And I saw that it was available in the comments in Netflix. So I went to Netflix, put in Evil, and the series is not available. Presumably because for whatever reason they've stopped showing it in the UK. So I thought, hang on, let's give this a try. I went up to my Surfshark, and there's a feature within Surfshark that allows you to change the IP address you're using. It can change your location, your internet connection to anywhere in the world. And I selected United States, so it's now given me an IP address from the United States. So Netflix now thinks I'm in the US. If I now refresh the page to search for the same series, you'll see that series is now available to me because of that Surfshark feature. It's absolutely brilliant, works on a number of streaming services, and has allowed me to watch loads of content that I would normally be geo-locked from. So if you'd like to secure your privacy with Surfshark, they've put together an exclusive offer for Chops Garage viewers. If you enter the coupon code CHOPS, you'll get an extra 4 months free. There's a link in the video description down below. I want to take this opportunity to thank Surfshark for being a continued sponsor of Chops Garage. So I've just dropped off the Ford Cougar to Moors. I had a chap come by yesterday while I was doing my painting. On the off chance, saw the Cougar, and I said, look, I was about to relist it with a problem because the you have to hold down the clutch pedal and the brake pedal to start the car. I'll tell you why I'm pointing at this car in a second. And I said to him, I've got the Fiat 500 back as well, that we've resolved the alternator issue on it. Anyway, sorry, I digress, and we've got some new cars as well, which I don't know if I've spoken about yet. Anyway, he came and saw the Cougar. I said I was about to relist it because we can't resolve the problem with the clutch pedal and the brake needing to be held down to start the car. The guys down at Motorworks had changed both switches out with no luck at all. They thought it was possibly wiring or an ECU problem, but they said at the end of the day, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and the clutch and it starts fine. So I said I was about to relist it with that as a known fault. He said, oh, I'm not bothered about that. He said, I'm finding it hard to get one at this price point with this mileage on. Can I take it for a test drive? So I went for a test drive, looked it over, he bought it. All I'm getting done is the advisories, the rear pads and the lower arm. He said, has it had a cam belt? I said, I've got no evidence it's had a cam belt. I gave him quite a healthy discount. I gave him £500 off in a discount, because I did get it at a good price as well, to sell it with the known faults, for him to go away and get the cam belt done himself. But because it is now 2011, so it's 13 years old, I only gave him a 1 month 1,000 mile warranty on it as well, and explained just the age of the vehicle. I couldn't do much more for that. Nissan is back. I need to tell you about Nissan. I haven't already. That's been a bit of a nightmare. Right, i20. I sold the i20 to a gentleman, didn't I? A little while ago, an older gentleman. And if you remember rightly, I don't know if I told you this, but when he came to test drive the car, he couldn't start it because there's another one where you need to press the clutch before you start the car, but he couldn't do that because he was having his seat far too back, and I kept suggesting me move it further forward, but he didn't do it by anywhere near enough. So in the end he did, because remember I drove this car all the way back from the Midlands from G3 auctions with no problems at all, didn't I? We got it all MOT'd, advisory free. I think we serviced it as well. So I eventually got him to move his seat forward so he could actually start the car. I started it, drove away and stalled it a few times. Now to be fair to him, he's had the same car for a very long time. But again, I still don't think he had his seat quite far enough. Anyway, went for a test drive. In the end, he got to grips with it. It's okay. I left for holiday. While I was on holiday, I had a call from Morse, and apparently he was down there saying there was a problem with the clutch. The car had jerked and lurched. And he had the boys check it out down at Moore's, and they said there's nothing wrong with the clutch. They said biting point's a little bit low on it. I said, and it does have that one other thing that you should get a number of cars where if you bring the clutch up really quickly, which you shouldn't really be doing, then if you're not balancing clutch and accelerator together, then you can make it lurch a little bit. He said that he wanted to leave it with them for me to test drive when I came back from holiday. I've just test driven it again, and the only way I could get him to get the car to do what he described was to come to a complete halt. As I said, bring the clutch up really quite quickly, not balance it out with the throttle. So what do? I mean, I did it when they rang me up. I said, look, at the end of the day, if he gives me £150, I'll cover the cost of it, putting a clutch in, all the other costs, because the guys say the clutch is okay, but if he really wants a new one in there, 150 quid for what is probably what, 450 job. I thought that was a really fair offer, but he didn't take them up on that. I don't know. I need to give him a call in a minute and find out what's what with him and see what he actually wants me to do. The reality is the car drives fine. He's getting used to a new car. I think he's possibly moved the seat further back again than he should have done. And the only way I can get it to replicate what he's doing is to do something which is in a manner which a car shouldn't be driven anyway. So I'll update you on a bit on what happens with that. There goes off our winner with the Mercedes CL 500. It's actually going local, that one. So just walking back from dropping the car off to the gentleman, hoping I've got something at Moore's I can take back up the hill. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I spoke, otherwise I'll just have to get a taxi back. But I spoke to the gentleman again, just reiterated everything. I said, look, the offer's on the table for the clutch if you want it to be done. I said, but I've just driven it down here again, and in all honesty, I drove it down here again, had no issues whatsoever. I said, look, can I just suggest perhaps moving the seat further forward? Because if you remember on that test drive, he just wouldn't listen to me and wouldn't move the seat further forward. And he even struggled to get the car to start because he couldn't depress the clutch enough for the sensor to tell he'd done it. Once I got him to move it a bit further forward, we went through the test drive without having any problems at all. But I said to him, look, you flagged it as a potential problem under the Consumer Rights Act. If it were to fail within the next 6 months now, you flagged it early on. But my guy says nothing wrong with it, so you're welcome to get a second opinion with another garage if you like. And he seems cool with that. I don't think he thinks I'm fobbing him off. Anyway, we'll see. I'll update you if anything else happens.